nothing but the dog in me. Why must I chase the cat?
Good evening and welcome to Posse Presents. I'm not going to tell you why I'm giggling because it's not pleasant. But anyway, this is sort of like, this has nothing to do with the show. But I'm falling apart tonight, clearly. Not feeling well, feel like I'm on the edge of bronchitis. And it's kind of showing in everything that I appear to be trying to do. You know, on a Saturday I prepare my show. Had to do that as a priority, but knowing that I'm feeling sick, I was like, all right, you know what, maybe I should just nip this before it gets any worse, because with the asthma, I know how it works. So I'll go to a walk-in. Well, I guess unless you really operate on banker's hours, they're closed fairly early in the day, so that didn't do me any good. So at the last minute, I realized that a pharmacy that I practically live in has its own little walk-in clinic, and so I went there and I got seen and I got some prescriptions, and of course they didn't tell me one of them I had a hand in, they couldn't put it in, so I waited twice as long as I needed to and whatever. So at least now I have meds and I should feel better. But you know, when you aren't feeling well and you think that you're better than you are, you find out sooner or later that you weren't, because when I went to load all my pictures for tonight, I didn't load them to my flash drive. I will find them all on my computer when I go home, no doubt, but they were not on my flash drive. So it's not a showstopper, but clearly I need to pay far more attention when I think I'm not feeling well, and things like that won't happen. And perhaps I really should do something a little more to get medical attention during like real hours than I do. Anyway, so no pictures tonight. I apologize, but the message and the stories you are about to hear and all that, they're just as pertinent without any of the visuals. So here we go. It's going to be fun when I take the cough medicine and I see what that has to do to me, because that's got stuff in it that you're not supposed to be out in the world in. So anyway, you can tell I'm not feeling well. I'm rambling already. Usually I save that to the end of the show. But anyway, there are a few events that I would like to present to you coming up for this week, and we're going to start with that. We've had Ruth from Wolf Central on here a couple of times, and if you have seen those shows, you know that she is very much about the wolves and the wildlife, and she has connections with Mission Wolf out in Colorado. And it's really exciting because October is Wolf Month, and Ruth has been busy, and we talked about her coming on to promote the wolves, but she's been busy. So the truth of the matter is it's all happening a little earlier in the month than she's used to, but Wolf Central is excited to present the wolves of Mission Wolf from Colorado. And that is going to be on October 15th and 16th, which is Wednesday and Thursday of this week. There will be 3 opportunities to see the wolf ambassadors in person, which is just like a once-in-a-lifetime chance. They do make the trip every year, except they didn't last year because one of the head of the organization had an injury. But these are actual wolves people. They're captive born. They are ambassadors for wolves everywhere. You really get to, you're in this auditorium setting, and there are front seats availabilities, and you get to actually see them. There will be some lucky people who get to interact with them, and I have the sticker for my car that Ruth gave me. It says I kissed a wolf and I like it. This year we're making that actually happen. It's not just going to be a sticker on my car anymore, I hope, but I think it's just, it's an awesome once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. That's really all I can say. If you've seen the shows where Ruth is on, she's so passionate about it, and it is such a very exciting thing. If you are interested in finding out more, you can check out the Wolf Central Facebook page. Ruth has been posting fast and furious about the arrival of the wolves. There are 2 Facebook events that have all of the information on how you can attend. Gives more specifically the venue and, you know, the details of what you can expect from. There's slightly different settings and like sort of levels of interaction. So really, this is Wolf Week, folks, and it promises to be really special. And like I said, that's the 15th and the 16th. Check out Wolf Central's Facebook page. They're right here in Southington, and I believe the appearances of the wolves will be in Southington as well. So check that out if you want to get in on that. I recommend it personally. I can't wait. We've got a lot of wolf stuff going on this week, and that's all I've got for that. Also on Thursday the 16th, Sue Torres, who has also been a guest on the show, gotta love her. She mentioned me in her blog this week. That was a cute thing to find on my Facebook page. She had me mentioned in her blog, and I think I also mentioned that she uses my name in the book as well a couple of times, so that's definitely an honor. But Sue has an event. It's called Go to the Dogs. It's between 5:30 and 8 p.m., and that is in West Hartford. There will be vendors, adoptable pets, pet services, and some of my favorites, Kenway's Cause, which is basically the offshoot from the City of Hartford Animal Shelter. Some of my favorite ladies. And we know that Moo will be there. And if you remember, Moo was on the show with Laurel. Moo at the time was a sightless dog, and she had surgery and has had her sight restored. And Laurel, yes, I am talking to you. You've said you're coming back with Moo, and I'm waiting. I know you're a busy lady, but I want to see my Moo so she can see me. But anyway, Sue's book will be available. There will be goodie bags, giveaways, and more. And that is, I said, in West Hartford. And if you want more information on that, you can email Sue directly at Sue E. Torres, that's SUEETORRES, @gmail.com. One more time, that's SUEETORRES, @gmail.com. And that certainly promises to be a fun event. Anything, you know, Sue is awesome. She kind of surprised me. She stopped into my job this week, and I looked up, and it was just like, whoa! She didn't expect to see me because I was there during the day, and I'm usually never there during the day, and I certainly never expected to see her. So, you know, it was just a really nice little visit, and she is a very wonderful person, and her book is fabulous. I did read her book cover to cover, and, you know, it's, if you love pit bulls, and even if you don't, you know, pit bulls are just a wonderful dog to me. And that's what her book is about. It's Loyalty Unleashed, pit bulls and the people who love them. Like I said, she was on the show with that, and she was promoting it. And she has been doing a lot of events and a lot of good things with the book, because a portion of the proceeds do go to local charities. And, of course, they're animal charities. So enough said about that. There's another event that I would like to bring to your attention. And if you remember, see, I have all these people that keep coming back into the broad scope of things here. Terry Jennings was on a couple weeks ago. She is involved in the Pet Awareness Day, sponsored by Prospect Vet and Prospect Boarding and Grooming, and that's where that will be held. That's 93 Waterbury Road in Prospect. That is on Saturday, October 18th, from noon to 3. There will be adoptable pets. There'll be area rescues, Love on a Leash, which is Terry's involvement with the therapy animals. If you remember, she was on with the therapy cat, whose name was Dog, which just still, I think that's so cool. She's an awesome person, and she's going to be there on behalf of Love on a Leash, and I think she's trying to decide which cat is going to represent. I'm in favor of Dog, but I haven't met the other ones, and hopefully someday I will. There will be a cat owner education group called Cat Knowledge Academy there. And there are still spots open if you are a rescue group and you want to be involved and display your adoptable pets and hopefully, network, get them homes. It's always, these events are always a lot of fun. There's a lot of us like-minded people. You get the chance to put, faces to names and the people that you've been involved with online and on Facebook. You actually, I've had a lot of cool times where, you just run into people and it's like, wow, finally. But it's a lot of fun, and, to be a part of it as far as, the vendor situation or, having your group represented, it does a lot for exposure. So, really, none of them can ever hurt, that's for sure. So if you are interested in having your rescue at this event, you can contact Terry directly, and her email is crittercrazytj@gmail.com. That's crittercrazytj@gmail.com. And she would be more than happy to get you in on that, and hopefully see you there. Last event that I'd like to bring to your attention is the Pet Playhouse 10-year anniversary party that's coming up on Sunday, and that is my friend Debbie, and she has been on the show as well. There's like a theme here. I'm just promoting all these people that I've gotten to hang out with both on the show and off the show. But hey, it's my show and I can, right? That's what it's all about. Anyway, so the Pet Playhouse event is Sunday, October 19th from noon to 4, and that's at the store in Milldale. There will be vendors, adoptable pets, entertainment, and again, some of my friends will be on hand. We're supposed to have Bikers Against Animal Cruelty there, Hounds Healing Heroes, Sue Torres will be there. If you've got any questions or you want to find out more, you can call Debbie at 860-426-9640. That's 860-426-9640. And, if you missed last week's show, you really should look it up on YouTube, because Hounds Healing Heroes was on, and they brought a couple of their adoptables, and we talked about a couple of more of their adoptables. But I have not gotten over Meatball. He was just the sweetest dog, and he hasn't found a home this week. From what I've seen on their page, he is still up for grabs. He was just the sweetest dog, and having him on my lap throughout most of the show was, it was so tempting. He was such a love, but you have to know when it's not your time to bring another animal home, and it's really not my time. So Meatball is a wonderful dog who is up for grabs, and I know that Leo, who we profiled, I just saw him on their page too. He's still looking for a home. There's a lot of really good dogs and cats out there looking for homes, and that brings me to my next little rant again, unfortunately again, about the Yonkers Animal Shelter. Yonkers is full. And, what does that mean? That means that they are not, they're a municipal facility, but they're not a kill shelter, which that is a beautiful thing. But when they're full, what happens? The dogs, they can't really take any more dogs in, so where are those dogs going to go? They're not going to get into a no-kill environment. They're going to end up someplace else, God knows where, and who knows what happens to them. And in the meantime, Yonkers has wonderful animals sitting there for far too long who need homes. And, there was a post on their page this week that they're still reaching out to rescues and getting nowhere. There's like no interest in perfectly wonderful animals because everybody feels like they're okay because they're not in a kill environment. Well, I don't get that. Their post basically said that people were saying to them, or in response to their pleas for some help, there's no pledges on those animals. You ought to give them urgent dates because, then people will pay attention. Really? So you have to threaten to kill an animal before someone will be interested? That's travesty. I can't even begin to understand. I mean, I'm not trying to take away from the animals whose lives, their days are numbered, but how can you let animals sit and languish in a shelter? I said a few weeks ago that it's a tribute to the care that they get, that these dogs aren't all just going kennel crazy. The people in Yonkers, the volunteers, and I had pictures and, whatever kicked me in the behind. I know I messed it up. My head is not on straight today. Leslie and Jen, they're wonderful. We got to meet them. Debbie and I went down there a few weekends ago, just to say hi and try to offer, some kind of help. They're wonderful. The people there really, really care. You don't get that everywhere. I'm sorry. They are invested in every single animal that's at that shelter, and there's like over 160 animals. There's this huge cat room. They've got cats, all ages, all flavors basically. If you're looking for a cat, if you're looking for a dog, they know the history as much as they can because, well, you can't always know what happened before they got to the shelter, but these ladies know these dogs' personalities inside and out. Like I say, they're invested. They do, the other dog tests. They do the cat tests. They care. They walk them. They exercise them. Can they give them all of what they need in a shelter environment? Absolutely not. But they do the best they can, and they do it with all their heart and soul. So really, I beg you to please go visit the Yonkers Animal Shelter Facebook page. If you pick one dog and share that dog for days and days and days, or you pick any number of their dogs and share them, or you just share their page. They really need the exposure. They really need the help. These dogs really, really need homes. Sitting there for months and months, and some of them for more than a year, couple of years, that's no life. Yes, there are urgent dogs that do need to be saved, but let's not forget the ones who are sitting there languishing. There's just no attention and no support from the public or rescues. Yes, there are some of us that share them. There are some people who do try, but I think that this is one of those situations where they need an army. They need an army to help them. They need to get some of their animals home. The very little bit of help that they get is much appreciated, and we just need to go and do a little bit more. We need to all pull together and help out. They've got Allie, who, if I had a picture up, was a really pretty dog. Allie is an 8-month-old lab, very active, very playful, and is basically, a lab. There's Annabelle. Annabelle is a pretty girl. She's had no interest. She's 3 or 4 years old. She's calm. She's easy to handle. She's good on a leash. There's poor Mimi. She's been there since summer of 2013. She's been there over a year. She was a throwaway mom, and we got to meet Mimi when we went down there. She was awesome. Problem? She's a black dog. Come on, get over it, folks. Remember, black dogs, brindle dogs, they're all, that's all part of the, invisible dog at the shelter type of deal, where they get the least amount of interest. I still don't understand that. But yeah, poor Mimi, throwaway mom, sitting there for over a year, no interest. There's a very storied dog sitting there, and I believe she's been there for at least a couple of years. Her name is Paris, and we met her too. I had the picture. It was a great picture. Paris was brought over from, I believe it was Poland, and her people didn't realize that once they got here, they weren't going to be able to have her where they moved into. So poor Paris ended up in a shelter, and she's been sitting there ever since. Can't imagine why there's nobody interested in her. She just sits in a shelter. Once upon a time, someone cared enough to do everything that had to get done to bring her from another country, and now she's in a shelter. There's just no justice in that. She needs a home. There was a cute little kitty that they had, hoping that somebody would come and see her over the long weekend. Let's not forget, this is a long weekend, and if you're looking for a companion, it's the perfect time to go because you've got that extra day. So Melody is sitting there waiting for a home as well. Like I said, there's cats, there's dogs, there's all shapes and sizes and ages and temperaments and activity levels. I think that they've pretty much got everything in Yonkers from A to Z, if you will. And they're just, they're all waiting for someone. There's actually, if you all remember, a couple years back, I championed for a pair of dogs, Bonnie and Clyde. I pretty much started my show begging for a home for those two. Well, Yonkers has their own Bonnie and Clyde. And, they're a very bonded pair, need to go together. And, there's just so many dogs. If you look at their Facebook page, Yonkers Animal Shelter, just scroll through their pictures, scroll through the dogs. You can tell by their posts how much they care. I can tell you how much they care because I've met these people. And like I said, they really, really have their hearts in the right place. So if you are interested in any of the dogs at Yonkers, if you're interested in finding out more, you can email Leslie, and her email is lesliem147@gmail.com. That's lesliem147@gmail.com. And her phone number is 201-981-3215. That's 201-981-3215. And really, I can't beg enough for you guys to do a little something, get involved, help them out. You can say, oh, well, they're not in Connecticut. No, of course they're not in Connecticut, but does that mean that you can't share their dogs? Does it mean that their dogs don't deserve a home? Does it mean anything? Not really. This is traditionally Pit Bull Awareness Month and Shelter Dog Awareness Month. And for someone like me who sees homeless dogs every day, I mean, if you all could see my Facebook feed, I don't think most people will be able to handle it. But I'm glad that there's the awareness. But pit bulls, they need your love every day. Shelter dogs, they need homes every day. There shouldn't be a reason why just 1 month of a year that pit bulls or shelter dogs get attention. Like I say, they need it every single day. There are dogs that die in this country by the tens of thousands, and it's just unbelievable. The basic cure for the overpopulation that we see and the number of dogs dying that we have is to spay and neuter your pets, stop breeding. It's just, there's no reason to bring any more animals into this world. It's the best way to eliminate the loss of life that is so rampant in our shelter system. And, for people to say, oh, I can't afford it, and this and that, there's programs to help you. Even the state has a program for spay and neuter, and really, if you are financially insecure, you really probably shouldn't go out and get a pet. It's just, not the thing to do because there are expenses involved. If you've got pets and you've fallen on hard times and can't afford, that's a slightly different story. And there are avenues for help for you out there as well. But, be responsible, spay and neuter your pets. Think about shelter pets and how to help them every day. Think about pit bulls every day. Don't just make it for the month, because the reality is pit bulls and chihuahuas are the most killed dogs in shelters. And that's just a travesty, because they're two really great breeds of dogs. And I think everybody knows that I am definitely a pit bull advocate. And, while October, it's great that they're having the attention. Let's give them the attention every day. And again, let's give shelter dogs attention every day. Everybody can share, everybody can post, everybody can get involved in some way or another. Like I said, whether you pick one shelter that you throw yourself behind, or you spread yourself to posting the dogs that need the most help, do it. Your friends may not like it. You always see these things like, oh, people don't like my sad dog posts. Well, you know what? You don't need them on your friends list. They can unsubscribe from you. There's a lot of things, they can do. They can unfriend you for all you have to care. I mean, the animals' lives are very important. And that's going to be the end of my rant with that. For those of you who may not know, Cesar Millan is going to be in Waterbury next week, which I've never realized how much love and hate he's got. There's people who love him and people who hate him. I didn't realize the haters until I went to see him last year. But anyway, we'll see who we see at Cesar Millan on Friday in Waterbury. Anyway, I'm going to say goodnight now with peace, love, and dogs. See you next week.